Let's say a word about Rosh Chodesh Adar, and make it fit into everything that we're saying. But the big tzaddik once said that Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha historically doesn't work because Mishanichnas Adar, that's when we had all the tsaras, Mishanichnas Adar. That's when there was the Gzeira of Haman. That's when we were all destined to die. So really it would make more sense if we're celebrating historical, we should be celebrating Mishiyatza Adar Marbin B'Simcha. When Adar left, we were Mamish B'Simcha. We had a Yeshua, we had a Purim, we had why Mishinichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha. So one of the great tzaddikim said that it's not that we had Simcha because we were Matzliach because we had Simcha. Meaning, and there's the whole Nefesh Hachaim in a sentence, because what we're doing in this world is Gairim, the uproar and the hashpa and the energy. Doctor. In the higher worlds, and when everything is good on the higher worlds, everything works out well on the lower world side. What I'm trying to bring out with this is that we need to understand, and I made a shtickle neder that we're going to learn inside, so I want to learn inside. But we need to understand that there's a milmala lamata and a lamata milmala. That's the sugya today. Milmala lamata lamala. What does it mean? That it means a lot of things, and it works in a lot of areas. But simply put, machshava dibur u'maisa. That's the most external trifecta in this whole chart. Machshava, dibur, u'maisa. So sometimes you start something with machshava, you work it into dibur, and then then you do something, right? So you think about it, then you talk the talk, and then you walk the walk. Sometimes things go milmata lamala. You do the maisa, and then comes dibur, and then comes machshava. We need to understand that more. It doesn't seem intelligent, but that's also a mahalach. And the same thing is true with nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Sometimes you start with nefesh, neshama, and sometimes with neshama you work your way down to nefesh. I have to just pause to tell you how much I appreciate that you indulge me in these esoteric things, which don't seem to make any difference at all. But it does. It does. You know, this is under the hood. It's the mechanics of this changes everything. It changes our tefillah, it changes our tshuva, it changes our simcha, it changes everything. But you know, sometimes, like you take the example of Mishanichnas Adar Marbin B'Simcha, that's milamata lamala, meaning that what we've done is we've created an energy of simcha where there shouldn't be any simcha. Doesn't make any sense. We're much under the gun. And the simcha itself evaporates. It's like a rainmaker, you know. The simcha itself evaporates into a simcha and shemayim, which comes out as a gzeira tova al klal Yisrael. Yeah. So
see that they were misameach?
Where it doesn't say la Yehudim ha'isayir of simcha. Right. It's our celebration. Yeah.
That was after Mordechai was in levush sak.
So no, that was before Mordechai was in levush sak. Right. But celebrate it. The story itself. I believe so.
Somehow said this is Hashem's Gezerah and we are misameach.
I don't believe you can do tshuva, which they did, without being b'simcha.
The tshuva was after the...
No, tshuva, summa alai.
But it was, once again, that the tshuva seems tzom and...
Yeah, not a steer to simcha at all.
We're doing tshuva, we're dancing.
Not Purim, yeah. But this is...
said in the camp, some Simchas Torah, and they were dancing as they thought they were going to be gassed, and then the Nazi got mad and pulled them out. So there they were misameach, but do we see in the
I think that they all became closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu on Rosh Chodesh Adar, and that was Garim a very, very deep simcha. So
grabber from the bottom, but the dreidel was from the top.
Very nice. Nice. Well said. Yeah. People say. Yeah. Right. But this is not only, but as they say, but this is not only about Isarusa de Lasata and Isarusa de Leila, it's about our avodah. So the avodah sometimes starts, like in tefillah, it starts with where we stand, how we stand, and works itself up all the way to the neshama. Tshuva is confusing, but let's say for our purposes at this moment, that tshuva starts with a hirur tshuva. With a hirur tshuva, and it works its way down till we become a changed person. I don't think it's all that simple, but just l'saber ha'ozen, let's understand it. So he says here as follows. Let's do the Haggah. And I want to share with you an insight before we go into this. But the Haggah says that by understanding nefesh, ruach, and neshama, that there's three parts, and by understanding that there needs to be a hiskashrus between nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Al yedei zeh Haggah. Al yedei zeh yisuknu. Shaar Beis Perek Tezayin in the Haggah. Al yedei zeh yisuknu kol habachinois elu. This is the way you can be masak in your life. Rabbi say, what we want to do is be masak in our life. Afim pogam chas v'sholom be'ezem mehem. Let's say you messed up. You did some kind of an avera. Al yedei maisav, o diburav, o machshavoisav asher loy tovim. You've thought wrong, you've said wrong, you've done wrong, chas v'sholom. V'goram chas v'sholom al yedeyim l'rachik l'hafrid hiyiskasher shebeneim. And because of that, I've made a disconnect between my nefesh and my ruach, or my ruach and my neshama. Moshe kasavti la'el b'shar aleph perek yud ches, where he speaks at length on tshuva. Yusuknu lachser v'liskasher kol echad b'chaver she'olav kivat tchila. It is possible to be reconnect everything. Shezehu shirish ikar in tshuva, and that's what tshuva is. Okay, what did he say? Let's just say it in our own words. What is tshuva? Tshuva is the opposite of chet. I have my nefesh, my ruach, neshama. They're all supposed to work together. What does it mean that they work together in our language? What does that mean? It means that I'm connected in the fact that I'm not just a monkey saying words or doing things, no, or my nefesh is connected to my ruach is connected to my neshama. I'm wholesome in my approach to things. And if I am wholesome in my approach to things, so then, in other words, then everything I'm doing is going to be the right thing to do. What happens if my nefesh is disconnected? Then I have taiva. I'm just doing whatever baliyadi, whatever comes my way. So you say, well, that's not good for you. It's not good for your neshama. I'm disconnected from my neshama. There's a lot of disconnected people. Doesn't mean that the neshama is there, but disconnected. But the idea is nefesh, ruach, neshama. Every time a person does a chet, you've made a disconnect between your nefesh, your ruach, and your neshama. Lashon hara is a bigger chet in a way than eating treif, because eating treif is a chet in your nefesh. Talking lashon hara is a chet in your ruach. So whereas one disconnects the nefesh from the ruach, lashon hara disconnects the ruach from the neshama. So ad kedei kach, the Mekubalim say, when you're speaking lashon hara, when you're speaking lashon hara, so you're being energized by the sitra achra. It's not even being energized from a regular source, the source of kedusha. He's got to get his energy from somewhere. He gets it from somewhere else. So the one Indian is the Indian of tshuva. He says is where I'm reconnecting these three pieces. It's important to understand the mechanics like on a chart, but it's also important to understand it within us. So I'm going to leave the within us to you a little bit. We have our nefesh, we have our ruach, we have our neshama. They get disconnected as we do things wrong. And when you do something wrong, it gets only worse and worse, because when you do something wrong, so then cognitive dissonance sets in. And do you know what dissonance is, like in the symphony? So dissonance is where the one nudnik starts playing on the wrong key, and then the whole orchestra, all the pieces of the orchestra, they all play everything in the wrong key. That's dissonance. So the whole thing is wrong. But you can play the whole thing wrong. So cognitive dissonance is when I do something. It's not just rationalization, but it's when I do something wrong, or I think something wrong, let's say I do something wrong, so my thinking, now I've just disconnected dissonance. I've just disconnected my Maisa from my Machshava, right? So what happens? The Machshava plays along. That's a psychological reality. My Machshava plays along, and you see people that will tell you could sit next to somebody, talk to somebody, and they'll tell you about how good it is to kill people. They'll tell you how good it is to steal from people, how that's correct to do. Very, very smart people. It's a disconnect, meaning that their nefesh did something wrong, and the tail is wagging the dog. That's what's going on there. So the nefesh in that case. So how do you do tshuva? Tshuva is somehow alignment between the neshama and the ruach and the nefesh. It's not the season for tshuva, which is good. So there's no rush. It's not like we don't have the holiday rush right now. We have time, but it's the idea is alignment. Like alignment, nefesh, ruach, neshama. You have to ask yourself, am I aligned? That's tshuva.
You seem to be leading Hashem out of the picture. I mean, the disconnection when you do
the neshama is a chelak elikay mimal. That's our connection with Hashem, and the neshama connects to us via ruach. And the ruach connects to us.
The ultimate disconnection is from...
Yeah. Well, if you disconnect from your neshama, then after neshama there's chaya, there's yechida, places where we don't know. But I actually want to speak about this for a second. I just want to get the yesod clear. The idea is to connect. So if the idea is to be connected, what happens when we do a chet, says Nefesh Hachaim, is we've disconnected something. So now we need to do some type of a chiropractic fix and get everything back aligned again. It's, by the way, the Arizal, when he speaks about the, he tries to explain the kav ha'or, he talks about the spine, the spine, and he talks about the igulim, he speaks about the ribs. Yeah, so it's all like this alignment, but imagine you meet a lot of people like this, that their mouth is totally not connected to their brain. Yeah, you ever met them? Yeah, you find people like that, but most people, their mouth is not connected to their body, meaning like they say they're going to do something, or they say they're committed to something, but they don't do it. Tachlis, they don't do it. So the idea is this should all be aligned. So tshuva is a realignment of the two inyanim. I just want to add here one very important point that occurs to me, that starting from the top, neshama, ruach, nefesh. We talk about alignment, but it's really something much deeper and much more relevant than that. And that is this, that there is, let's introduce a new term here. Gilui. A person has machshava in their mind. Nobody knows that machshava. I could look at everybody here, and you could look at me. Nobody knows really what our machshava is. Chazal have blot and blot about chazaka, adam this and adam that. Try to figure out what a person's machshava is. Who knows what a person's machshava is? I don't know if we know ourselves what our machshava is. Atem chashavtem alai l'ra v'Hashem asa l'tov. Machshava is a very, very deep thing. Dibur is something for everybody to see and hear. Right? So what's going on there? What's going on is that Dibur is a gilui of machshava. And Maisa is a gilui of Dibur. A gilui if my Dibur had integrity. And the reason why this is important is because I, and I'm guessing you, can understand in this whole alignment the importance of machshava. And we can understand the importance of what we do. What's the big deal about what we say? Except for that it happens to be the connector between machshava and maisa. The same ruach neshama. We all understand nefesh, that's who we are. We all understand we have a neshama. And we sing together, we say, let's have some ruach. But what's ruach? What's ruchnius? What's ruchnius? What is that? We don't talk about neshamius or nafshius. We talk about ruchnius. What is ruchnius? Ruchnius is not just the connector between the nefesh and the neshama, and it's not just dibur or breathing, which we all go to that Targum Unclus, vayipach ba'apav nishmas chaim, that is about the breathing, about the air, about the words. It's much more than that. The ruach, however it manifests, whether it's in dibur, is a beginning of the hiskalus of the machshava. Yes, you understand this? Meaning Hashem had a machshava kiviyachol. I'm going to make a world. B'machshava tchila. How did the world come from Hashem's machshava? Ba'asar mamaris nivra ha'olam. Dibur. Vayomer. The dibur. This helps me understand why dibur is not a davar min atzad, but it's the atzmius of the process, because dibur is the first hiskalus. And by the way, every hiskalus is not a complete representation of the step before it. Meaning, there's a world. Is this the complete machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Leis machshava tvisaveh. Who understands what the complete machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is? We get a glimpse, maybe, a glimpse, the tip. We understand what's nogea l'didan, ma'ala, who knows what all that's about. So you get a little bit of the machshava. I can see your machshava here, Hashem, because what? Asar ba'maris nivra ha'olam. Who knows what I'm thinking? You can hear a little bit what I'm saying. Who knows what I'm thinking, if I'm thinking at all? You can't, but then again, so we're talking about a hiskalus, but the dibur is not a complete gilui, nachon? I'm megala das, but it's not a complete gilui of who I am until I actually do something with it. Because I can make speeches from today till tomorrow, but if you don't do it, if it doesn't come l'maisa, then there's something stuck. There's something just completely retarded about the system here, and you're not getting from the machshava to the dibur down to the l'maisa. I don't want to say anything bad, but a lot of people are stuck right here. A lot of people are stuck right here. I think that people that are learning, which is the greatest thing in the world, and they can't bring it l'maisa even so far as opening a Mishnah Berurah, let alone, helping the next generation learn Torah, something stuck. I think that just in every strategy, every time, we have an idea, and we talk about the idea, but that we can't execute the idea. What's wrong with us? Why can't? So this is the short, the disconnect. So it's the disconnect in the complete gilui into this world. So let me just say this: the whole world is about gilui. Because if you look at the Kabbalistic system, you have, how many spheres are there? Quick test.
7 or 10.
Can't say two answers, that's not the right answer.
7 or 10.
7 or 10, whatever you want. Okay.
Or 11.
Or 11 maybe. Let's be safe. Right, 7 or 10. You have the 7 days of the week and the 10 days of tshuva. What's the difference between the 7 days of the week and the 10 days of tshuva? The 7 days of the week represents the outer spheres, the external spheres, the spheres megulim. They're revealed. On top of the 7 spheres, which is things that we know, we see chesed, everyone sees chesed, Hashem's chesed, our chesed, it's revealed. Avram Avinu is chesed. Gevura, everybody sees gevura, heroism. Tzimtzum, din, we see it. Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yisoid, Malchus. Yisoid, Yosef was Midas HaYisod. We see how it hits the ground. These are things you can see. If you have an eye, you can see them. What you're not going to see is the Keser, the 3 above. But the Keser is everything. Because what all the 7 spheres are is a gilui of the Shalish Roshim, and that's why they're called Meichen. Did I just lose everybody? Is he okay? Yeah, okay. So there's 3 spheres lamalo which are completely hidden. Hanistarais la Hashem Elokeinu. We don't know what they are. You're not even allowed to think about it because you're only going to come up with shtus. Zan Nistaris LaHashem Elokeinu. V'aniglois lanu levaneinu ad olam. Chesed Gur Tiferes Netzach Hod Yisod Malchus. So therefore, when we say our praise, we say L'cha Hashem. Hagedula v'agavura v'atiferes v'anetzach v'hod. When we take the sefer Torah, we say L'cha Hashem Hagedula. We only talk about 7 spheres. Because 7 spheres is, we're talking about what we're able to articulate. But there are 3 spheres, ladat, that there are 3 spheres, which is Keser, Chachma, and Bina. These are called the Moichin, or the Balatani phrases the same thing in a different way, and he calls it Chachma, Bina, Vadas, which is the underside of Keser, same thing. It's the same thing. But it's just...
Rabbi Wilson says that this is connected the Sheva Alamim that we conquer and the 3 that
Gam, everything. But let's make it easy. 7 days of the week, 10 days of tshuva. You see what happens with tshuva is 10 days of tshuva that it's starting Rosh Hashanah. It's starting with the complete hisgalus. You're starting to do something which is climbing a ladder until Yom Kippur, which is climbing a ladder which we become mamish bashamayim. It's not that on like on Shabbos, you're not allowed to work. On Yom Kippur you can't. We're malachim. It's not an Indian of oneg, which is gashmi. It's an Indian of I can't eat. I'm a malach. It's a different level. The Aseret Tshuva is taking us to a completely different level. Seb marechet, different level. The Maral says this in his own words. But I'm saying, what about ma kesher lepo? The kesher is that we're talking about gilui. It's all about gilui, yeah. It's all about taking what's up there in the moichin and being miskala. What's in the neshama and neshama, ruach, nefesh, machshava, dibur, maisa. It's all about gilui. So when we talk about dibur, which is troubling, what is dibur? Man dochar shmei. What does dibur have to do with anything? So I'm talking. I'm malvas amenshret. What does talking have to do with it? And the answer is the talking is the first iskalus. Ha'olam nivra ba'isiyos. That's the first thing that happened is articulation of a thought. Whether it's Hashem's thought or our thought or a sphera, it's all about articulation. So what's happening when we do a chet? This is what he's talking about over here. What's happening when we do a chet is somewhere there's a disconnect between the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama, and you actually, to do tshuva properly, you actually have to find it. Where is the disconnect? You have one person who's got a philosophical problem, another one who's made commitments that he in the wrong direction, like a Marano, and another one is a person who just has a lot of taiva. So there's all kinds of possibilities of where the chet is, and like if somebody would be a real tshuva coach, and I've just invented a new business for you, you could be a real tshuva coach, so you can pinpoint where the disconnect is, just like one has to do with psychological illnesses. You have to pinpoint where is the problem. Is the problem in the nefesh, and the ruach, and the neshama, and the machshava, and the dibur, and the maisa? What's going on over here? Maisa is just a bad habit. So it's these scholars. What happened there when Adam Arishan did his chet? What makara? What was it? What happened? Nachmad lamare v'tavo huleinayim. It was they were disconnected. The nefesh ad kedei kach that Hashem says ayeka. Where the heck did you go? Right, you were connected. Why'd you disconnect? And the whole world, the whole history of the world is to try to reconnect. In that sense, to try to reconnect the nefesh, ruach, and neshama, and on an individual basis and on. So says the Nefesh Hachaim a little bit further. V'zehu inyan ha'kosav hashmin leiv ha'amazeh v'oznav ha'koved ve'enav hasha pen yira yisha. Pen yira be'enav v'oznav yisham alvava yavin v'shav v'rapelai. Let's look at the order of the pasuk here. Hashmin Yeshayahu says hashmin leiv ha'amazeh. Starts with the leiv. V'oznav he koved ve'enav hesha. Penira be'enav ba'oznav yishmal vavai, and then he goes the other way around. Yavin v'shav v'rapei loy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to explain it. Shebaseifer the cross siddur hafuch misiddur dereisha. You see the pasuk in Yeshaya goes back and forth over here. Vaznayim Ki halev hu bechinas hamachshava. Things start with the lave. V'haznayim, how did ears get into this? Heim kli shmias hadibur. Ears are for talking. Ve'inayim hem kli ariya. And anayim is what you see. You see, if somebody makes the totally heretical statement of seeing is believing, so it means to say they're totally stuck in the world of Maisa, in the world of Nefesh. Because seeing is not believing at all. Seeing is seeing. You don't need to believe if you see it. That's already scientific. I can see it under a microscope. That's not believing. Believing is when I've gone deeper. That's where believing, emunah, comes in the lave. Ubechete ha'adam. When a person does a chet, heima mistalkim mimenu ma'at keseder. Sheme'es. Now here's the seder of chet. You want to know how to do a chet? Here's the instructions. Sheme'es she'oila al rayon ha'adam levad. Mitzad ha'nefesh. Lasa shum chet. This is an interesting place. Where is the rayon? I get this idea. I want to do a chet. You just get this idea, the heck with it. I'm going to do a chet. It doesn't always work out for people. If you want to do a chet, it doesn't work out. But me'ei sho'ila rayin adam levad, mitzad hanefesh, lasa shum chet. Oz, so what happens at that moment? Mistalekes bechinas haneshama takef. All of a sudden, you've just with this thought, you've just made a detachment. Plump, the circuit breaks. You've made a detachment between your nefesh now and your neshama. But if you actually go ahead and start going towards the chet, you've lost another level of connection. Or it becomes pagum. B'shleimus karoi. V'im chas v'shalom here b'v'hoisiv lachta yoser. Let's say you go all the way, and you did the chet. Wow, I shouldn't have done that. Oz gam b'chinas nafshoy nifgames oy nichris chas v'shalom legamri mehis kashus b'chinas ruach. Everything gets all messed up now. Meaning, there is a metzias. That's kares. That's kares. Kares, and you've so completely detached yourself from your neshama. You with me? So meaning the neshama is going with one tune, and here in the nefesh you're articulating it completely wrong. The hisgalus has gone wrong. So if that's what Aver is, what is tshuva? What is tshuva? Kishu chayzer b'tshuva. And that's why I spoke about mimato lemala. Tshuva is mimato lemala. Hipoch miseder histalkusam tchila. Get it? When how does the connection get lost, and how do you get it back? It's reversed. But let's make sure we understand this. Tchila hu masig lebechinas hanefesh. When I do tshuva, so first, I work out my nefesh. I don't like what I'm doing. That's the nefesh. I don't like what I'm doing. I need to do what? I need to learn more. I need to connect more. I need to daven more. I don't like what I'm doing. So when you make that, try to change that habit, so you shara love haruach, so you work your way up.
It's vidu.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Is mimata lemala. The opposite of what I said. Oh. Thank you for noticing. He's asking a kasha, is Haber completely off? No. Shebashar Aleph Parachafn is bar, because if you go back to Shaar Aleph, Sheim Pagam Ohichris Chas V'Sholem Bechinas Nafshe V'Hoyrid Kol Tes V'Yoisel B'Metzulas Hara Al Yedei Tshuvasei Hu Matzil Umamshich Kedusha V'Elyon Mila Eila By doing tshuva, I'm starting from the top. Al bechinas nishmasai tchila, umimena nimshacha ruchai, v'az haruach mavik miziv ha'ar hagadol, nishba lav gam ala nefesh. That's the kasha. Starts in the machshava. So where does tshuva begin and where does it end? What difference does it make? It makes a big difference. How do we do it? That's what the difference is. What is tshuva? By the way, tshuva, I was joking before, but you don't have to wait till Ozar's to make tshuva. Like, you're allowed to do tshuva every day. But wherever you feel disconnected. But v'chein al derech zeh kasher nifgam haruach chas v'shalom, k'mashakasav hayudu b'divrei harizal shelatikone zepartzuv u'bechina tzarech l'hamshich oris u'moichin chadashim mil'ela le'ela. You start from the top. Derech kol ha'partzufin v'amadregos kulam ad oisei ha'partzuv ha'bechina shetzarech l'sakna. You start from the top until you get to the right place where your disconnect is. In between nefesh, ruach, and neshama, there are partzufim. She'elav nimshechu ha'moichin, and the moichin, which is from up on top, reach these places and saturate the places going downwards. Hainu, kedei lahalois hanefesh imke atuma shenishke b'toicha elasakim pigimasa. That what this is saying is that in order to pick up your nefesh, tzarich lahamshech kedusha ve'elyon milmalo lemata. So is tshuva milmalo lemata, or is tshuva lemata lemala? L'garesh l'chalois b'rish be'esh hashal heves hazeh hakoiches hatuma shenishke b'soicha. Or l'malos b'gimasa. So let me tell you out loud the answer and how important this is. The answer is, you hear the kasha? Everybody hears the kasha? Do you start, simple, I start doing tshuva by clapping? Oh boy, I feel bad about what I do. So you know what? Rishayim malayim charata. Rishayim, Bereshia askinan. Rishayim malayim charata. They feel bad all day about what they did. I really should not have killed the guy. Shouldn't have done. But then the next day he goes and kills somebody else. So where does it start? Does it start by just stop killing people, which is sort of the system, I believe, of rehabilitation in the international jail system. Like first let's start the Maisa. Or does it start with a hirhur milamala, which is coming, is it my neshama that's calling out to me and say, be a mensch, I created you for a reason. Why are you doing these crazy things here? Why are you hurting people? So where does it start? And the answer is it's two dinim. They're both MS. They're both MS, and one without the other doesn't work, because it's like this. Anybody who's about tshuva knows this, that the first start is some type of, and here we'll use isarusa de le'ela. The first pshat in tshuva, the first thing that has to happen in tshuva is milmalo lamata. Milmalo lamata is I have my neshama for some reason which is even unknown to me. Maybe it's chusavos, maybe it's says, you know what, I want to do tshuva. Anybody who became about tshuva, it's almost a miracle. Me'echatesa. Why would somebody become about tshuva? The answer is neshama. Why would somebody, today we talk more about people going off the derech than people getting on the derech. But it's that's natural. That makes sense to me. I have no question at all why people go off the derech. Pshita. It's a taiva. You don't need to be. You don't have to come into child abuse and bad school. It's pshita. Like the child is the other way around. Why do people get on the derech? What is I don't know any other reason. But derech klal. Maybe there's exceptions to this. I don't know any other reason except for somebody's neshama milamala is somehow calling out to him and leading him and pushing him until it gets right to all the way down to my nefesh. That's what's happening. Now, din 2, tshuva B. Tshuva B, I am now a blank canvas. that's my slicha, that's my mechila. Okay, my neshama talked to me and it's come right down to, okay, now let me do something. But you haven't done anything. At most, you're a tinok shenoilad. At most. So now you have to rebuild. And rebuilding is milamata lamala. Tshuva A, I believe, can take place within 3 seconds. Tshuva B takes a lifetime. Says Rebbe 4 times in the Chazal. Rebbe Hayaboiche, whenever he saw Yesh Koina Ilamai B'Shah Achas, whoop, Yesh Koina Ilamai B'Kama Shanim. I heard once Rav Hutner say, I heard with my ears, Rav Hutner said, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, Hatoch Kemel Nish Geweint. He never cried, except for when he saw this phenomenon of somebody doing tshuva b'shah achas. He didn't cry when he saw somebody doing tshuva b'kama yom shonim. What does it mean? It means to say that in 1 second a person can get in touch with their neshama. Milmala lamata. And here I am. And let's say at that moment I die. Meis b'tshuvasei. Like all the cases of Rebbe Elazar ben Durdaya, Ketir bar Sholem, all the cases of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi and Shas. Rebbe Hayaboiche, why was he crying from emotion? No, he was crying because, whoa, what a chaval. Because here you have milmala lamata, the whole thing happened, the person's ready to do tshuva, and then he dies. When he dies, he could have built himself up. Chaval, he didn't have. Now he didn't take that and rebuild. See, like mitzad echad adam arishan did tshuva. Spent 130 years doing tshuva. Mitzad sheni, we're still doing tshuva for the chetav, because he did tshuva A, but he didn't do tshuva B. The Asar Aruge Malchus or the Achi Yosef did an Aveira, no way getting around it, and they felt bad about it. They said so to Yosef, we feel bad about it, we did bad. But did we change? We're still changing. So one is a second, and the other is the rebuild. The Rambam, I want to point you on Sunday, points out these 2 dinim, that nobody knows these 2 dinim. This is not a brisker 2 dinim. This is something else. This is that there is tshuva A and there's tshuva B. Tshuva A, and this is what the Nefesh Hachaim here is machadish chidush nifla. Tshuva A is milmala lamata. It starts with the neshama, it goes to the ruach, and it goes to the nefesh. It becomes part of my ma'asim. From the point that Hashem connects with my neshama is connected with Hashem, and says, straighten out your way. Shuvu vanim shoivavim, right? Omar Hashem. So from that point to putting on tefillin, it's it could take it's a tshuva. People talk about this. Bali tshuva always talk about, while I was doing tshuva, during my tshuva, people talk about it. What they're talking about is but by the way, that's not over there. You don't get. I don't think. I'm guessing here, but I don't think you get that all your averos become mitzvahs. But that's where you get a blank canvas. Now, spent the rest of my life is tshuva B. The Rambam has 2 halachas about this, which I want to learn with you. We're just over time. The tshuva aleph and the tshuva beis. So this is what the Nefesh Hachaim is pointing out. There's tshuva which can go milmala lemata, and tshuva goes milmata lemala, and both of them accomplishing the same thing, which is the ultimate hiskashrus between the nefesh, ruach, and neshama, the ois, the nekudos, and the tagim, and the tamim, the machshava, the dibur, and the maisa. Everything has to be aligned. If it's all aligned, then we have tshuva gemura, as the Rambam calls it. Okay, I thank you.